Work. Hello, my children. Your father's brought you a swatching video. Okay, what? How is that different from every other swatching video?
It's not.
It's chocolate. Wah. Nobody laughed at that last time. Y'all need to watch more Drag Race. That is going to be your gay resolution until the next Pride collection next year. But like, the international franchises, France is the best, and Philippines. Tyler's Trinkets recently released their Pride 2026 collection. There are 8 new jewel-toned polishes with a color-matching holographic glitter, an aura micro shimmer, and black flakes.
Aurora.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
If you're not familiar with Tyler's Trinkets, you probably should be, seeing as how we've released a collab collection together. One of my favorite things that Tyler does is that for each Pride collection, $1 of each bottle sold is donated to a different LGBTQIA+ charity, which is not limited to purchases only during Pride Month. And the names of the polishes this year all come from queer terminology. Words like these originated from Black and brown communities, specifically in drag and ballroom culture. Jellicle cats and jellicle cats. Jellicle cats and jellicle cats, jellicle cats, jellicle cats. And specifically the charity of this year is the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Their mission is to protect and defend the rights of Black trans people, so check out the link in the description below to learn more. For this video, I'm going to be swatching the new collection, comparing them to things in my collection, and testing these polishes out over black. And quick reminder, I am an affiliate with Tyler's Trinkets, so if you want to save 10%, you can use the link in the description below or code ND10 at checkout. Anyways, let's crack this dictionary open and get with the swatches.
To the swatches.
You hate it when I say that. You hate
Get
when
with the swatches.
Get with the swatches, yo. We're gonna get with the swatches. Get with the swatches. Anyways, up first we have Mother. Mother. What?
Mother Vivacious?
Yes, Mother. Noun, a nurturing, powerful, and iconic force, often a transgender woman, drag queen, or beloved community elder who leads, protects, and uplifts those who need a home. The original, the blueprint. This polish is described as having a deep pink base with magenta hollow glitters, a pink to orange to gold aurora shimmer, and black microflakes. On the first coat, I was immediately stunned by the coverage as it looked like it could be a one-coater. I essentially couldn't see a visible nail line and probably could have stopped here if I was in a rush. You're making so many noises.
Yeah, it's me making the noises. It's not the 100-year-old house.
Did you notice that the lights flickered at one point during that?
Yes, I did.
And it was like, ghost?
If
A pink to orange to gold aurora shimmer.
there's a ghost in this apartment, why don't you come me sometime?
However, I did paint a second coat to deepen the base color. Which, speaking of, even though it is a pink, it's more of a red pink than it is a Barbie pink. But I think this is because the overall collection has more of a jewel-toned direction, and Tyler has already made a neon rainbow collection for a previous Pride launch. I do also want to say that when swatching, I noticed some blue flashes when wiggling my finger around. I'm not sure if this is the shimmer at extreme angles, or maybe how the hollow is playing with the base, but it was neat and I wanted to share. As for comparisons, I don't have any polishes that match this formula, so I grabbed some things that are closer in color than they are in composition, as I did have a similar color where the hollow sparkle is the focal point of the polish, but ultimately what I grabbed still isn't really a color match, as Mother lies between a deep hot pink and a stereotypical red, so this is unique to my collection. Now this color isn't my favorite, but it did remind me of Ego Stroker 9000, which is probably my favorite pink polish. Ego Stroker 9000. But speaking of color, it does satisfy the red space in this collection, as this collection was inspired by a red polish that Tyler released for his 3-year indie-versary, which I'll talk about more later in the video. So the color is fine, but the coverage is just freaking stellar. So I'm gonna give this 4.5 Ornatios out of 5.
Mother has arrived.
Oh. That is not the sound of a thwart. That is the sound of Titan yakking up a hairball in the morning.
Mother has arrived.
Moving on, we have gagged. Gagged. Adjective. the state of being so completely stunned, shook, or awed that speech becomes physically impossible. A full-body malfunction caused by nail art too fabulous to process. This polish is described as having an orange base with orange hollow micro glitters, red to orange to gold aurora shimmer, and black micro flakes. Now this one was slightly thinner than the previous polish, as I could still see visible nail line on the first coat, but it's really slight, as I could possibly see this working as a one-coater if I applied a slightly thicker coat. With the second coat, the color deepened, and since it's lighter than the previous polish, a layering effect starts to form on the nail. I really like that the black flakes from the first coat picked up a spooky tint when they layered, but also the hollow seems to pop much more and it's just so sparkly. Once again, I have nothing like this in my collection, and honestly what I grabbed isn't even that good. Flight of the Monarchs by Monarch Lacquer is an orange and black flaky polish, but that's about all the similarities. What I actually think it's more similar to is Xyler the Cat by Holo Taco, as that is a hollow glitter bomb in a similar orange base. But that came out before I started making review content and is one of the few Holo Taco shades I don't have in my collection. Regardless, I'm obsessed with this polish. It just looks like this Halloween granite countertop, and it makes me want to like stand on top of and dance to a hyper-pop version of the Monster Mash too.
What are you standing on top of?
The Halloween granite countertop.
Oh, we're partying on the countertop.
Miley Cyrus said party in the USA. I said party on the countertop.
Party in the US. Gay.
Hey, Pride Month, brought it around. This is what I think a drag queen witch from Halloween Town would wear, and it's an immediate standout. So this one easily gets 5 gagged, gooped, befuddled. Oh no, I didn't come up with 2 more. Out of 5. Guffawed and
Stunned.
That's 5 now. Finger dab. Next up, we have Slay. Fierce. Fierce. Your favorite reference?
My literal favorite thing that has ever happened in the history of the Naildadddy cinematic universe.
Okay, we'll put it in.
It's a
we'll put
new
it
day
in
in the
here.
workroom.
We'll put it in here for them. So it's a new day in the workroom. I'm feeling fresh and fierce and feisty and ready to take on another challenge this week. I don't even know why I did that. Slay. Verb. To perform. Look. Or exist at a level so exceptional it can only be described as lethal. Not a compliment, a declaration. This polish is described as having a golden yellow base with gold micro glitters, yellow to gold to green aurora shimmer, and black micro flakes. On the first swipe, I was immediately aware that this one had a thinner coverage than the previous polish, as it could not get away with one coat. However, this polish did inspire me to test the collection over black later in the video. I was a little worried 2 coats wouldn't get this to full coverage, but I'd say it was essentially effective. I think there's a slight visible nail line, but it's not as distracting as there's so much visual texture on the nail with the hollow glitters and black flakes. And once again, with this being a lighter color, I think the black flakes work really well as the polish layers. As for the color, it's a really nice warm gold that doesn't pull green, even if the aurora shimmer may have a tendency to do so. Also, I think this one is far shinier than the previous 2 polishes, as it catches the light and just explodes in golden hollow. As for comparisons, I grabbed a bunch of golden yellow sparkly polishes in my collection, and in this lineup, it's really clear that Slay is more of a true yellow gold than it is a sandy gold like Gold Play Button or a brassy gold like Titan Venom. I did also grab Cold Clucked by Jen and Berries, as that includes black flakes, but that's really where the similarities end. So I'm a huge fan of this polish, as it has like a metallic effect without being what I would consider a metallic polish. And that golden shimmer that runs throughout is something I personally want to be buried in. So this polish is gonna get 5 Slay the House Down Boots, yes God, out of 5.
Oh,
Tis stone. How hard are you committing to the bit?
Okay.
That was the ghost again. Did you see it?
I did. It's the ghost of Cardigan B.
Cardigan B. Anthony. Next up, we have Yas. Yas. Interjection. An emphatic, high-energy eruption of approval, excitement, or pure adoration, because a basic yes simply will not do. Often delivered at full volume with jazz hands. Yas. This is described as having an ivy green base with green holographic microglitters, a green to lime to yellow aurora shimmer, and black microflakes. I think this one had a pretty similar first coat coverage to the yellow, maybe ever so slightly better because it feels like the shimmer was working harder in the first coat here than in the previous polish. With the second coat, the green got darker, the shimmer got brighter, and the holo got hollower. It just came together to full coverage into this beautiful green that sits between a Kelly green and an emerald.
She already had.
He's done. I also really enjoy how the
I like how we just had separate moments at the same time.
and
you just didn't react to what I said whatsoever.
I was mid-bit and I, unlike you, commit to the bit. Call me binary because I commit to the bit. Do you know that that's the fundamental language of computing is bits, ones and zeros?
In theory, yeah.
Oh.
Computer?
Oh, there ain't no other way!
I also really enjoy how the shimmer pulls this into a yellower direction, giving it a golden shine that contrasts nicely with the black flakes. This also seemed to give it a similar shine to the yellow polish in comparison to the first two in the collection. So once again, none of my comparisons are actually that close. I was thinking Holo Taco's Everything is Pine would be a similar green, but that is such a cool green while Yas is really a warmer green. I did also grab Rogue Lacquer's It's Still Fine, as that also has black flakes, but once again, that's about all that's comparable. I like this one too, but definitely because of that golden aspect and that extra shine. However, this kind of green is not necessarily something I would often turn to. Regardless, I think I'm still gonna give this 5 Yas out of 5. And next up we have Snatched. Snatched, adjective, looking so impossibly put together, face, fit, nails and all, that lesser mortals must shield their eyes. When your outfit, your edges, and your aura are all aligned into divine perfection. This is described as having a deep teal base with teal and turquoise hollow micro glitters, a green to teal to blue aurora shimmer, and black microflakes. This one applied similarly to the previous polishes as it looked quite thin on the first coat. However, we gotta talk about this teal color because my god, Holo Taco is shaking in their boots right now. With the second coat, it got even deeper and just turned into this gorgeous foresty green deep teal that is just so nice. I do think that
nice.
you feel so nice. I do think that the black flakes are more lost in this because it's so dark. However, the holo shines better as it has more to contrast over with the darker base. Also, with the base being darker, the shimmer takes on more of a sparkle as I can see maybe individual green and blue flashes all over the nail. Now, the order of this lineup is a little off because now I actually think that Holo Taco's Emerald City is a touch closer in tone to Snatched. While Snatched is still what I would call a teal, it does still have a lot of green elements, pulling it away from more of a true dark teal like Starry Eyed. Overall, this polish is really nice and it really catches my attention, well, caught my attention when it was on my other hand. However, I do still think that the black flake is more effective with the lighter toned polishes. That said, it does still add some nice visual texture on the nail. So I'm gonna give this 4.5 Snatcher No Snatching out of 5. And next up we have Shade. Shade, noun/verb. The fine art of delivering a cutting insult so elegantly that the recipient isn't entirely sure they've been insulted until they're in the car on the way home. Unlike reading, shade isn't subtle. Rattlesnake sounds. This is described as having a sapphire blue base with blue and turquoise hollow micro glitters, a teal to blue to purple aurora shimmer, and black micro flakes. At first, this one applied similarly to the teal, however I did notice that it felt very easy to overwork. That said, I did paint these 4 polishes on my other hand, so it could be an application error, which is why I did a little bit of cleanup on my cuticle off camera. With the second coat, it went from more of a royal blue to more of a sapphire blue. This let the shimmer show more and it started to look like the shimmer was more of a cyan to green as there were some occasional flashes of green on the nail. But also the base color was light enough that the black flakes were more impactful here in comparison to some of the other polishes in this collection. That said, When finger wiggling, I couldn't help but noticing a visible nail line, so I painted a third coat to see if that would fix it. This was the only polish in the collection that I felt needed a third coat, and when I asked Tyler about it, he was telling me that this is because the blue pigment he used here is actually a jelly pigment. And to help with the opacity of jelly pigments, you can add white, however that kept pulling things in a pastel direction instead of the gemstone color palette of this collection. Which is why I think it was ultimately the right choice, as the final result is just a stunning sapphire that makes me want to expand the sea for all of the water type Pokemon. Which, speaking of sapphire, the first thing I thought of in comparison is Holo Tacos playing with sapphire. However, that went into a deeper and darker direction, while Shade still lives next door to Royal Blue. Also, quick note, I realized we only prepped one coat of this swatch stick, so I painted a third to be closer to what it looked like on the nail. In the end, I think this really specific shade of blue works really well within the collection. It has the depth of the other gemstone inspired polishes while also being light enough that the black flake still really does stuff. But I'm lazy and I can't give 5 stars to something with 3 coats. Please don't fact check me if I've done that in the past. These ratings are made up. It's whose line is it anyways, but with nail polish.
The points don't matter.
So this is gonna get 4.5 because reading is what?
Difficult.
Fundamental out of 5. Next up is work. Work. Verb. Exclamation. To deploy one's talents, beauty, or charisma with maximum confidence and zero apology. Also shouted enthusiastically by supportive bystanders who recognize greatness in action. Oh, that means I expect that in the comments now. Support me for Pride Month, otherwise you're homophobic. This is described as having a purple base with purple and magenta micro glitters, a pink to purple to blue aurora shimmer, and black micro flakes. On the first coat, it seemed like it was performing similarly to the blue, as it was on the thinner side and was easy to overwork. However, it was like one step above where the blue was, as it applied relatively evenly. And what really differed it from the blue was that I was able to get it to full opacity in 2 coats. This created this rich, deep purple with these pink and blue sparkles that looked super nice. I do think it could have benefited from a third coat, as the add-ins did look a little sparse on the edges of my nail, but that could have also been an application error. That said, at this point I didn't feel like painting a third coat here because I wanted to finish and go get ice cream. Ice cream sold separately. Now in this lighting, for some reason work looks more indigo than a true purple, so like work, but keep that in mind for the comparisons. Oh, and also ignore that I forgot the sticker here until later. As for the actual comparisons, I don't have a deep purple in this shade that is holo glitter forward. I think the closest is Midnight Spark, which is Holo Taco's infamous blurple, but next to work, Midnight Spark really pulls more blue.
A never-ending
Midnight Spark. So once again, I think that the darker polishes in this collection do deserve to exist, but the black flake is just lost on them. But don't get me wrong, work works, but it's not as impactful as the others in this collection. So this polish is gonna get 4.5 in the immortal words of Brinty Spears, you got a workbench out of 5.
You better work.
Cover girl to see the ghost.
Yeah. I hope it's a hot ghost. Sexy.
Jebediah work. And finishing up the collection, we have serving. Serving, verb, present participle. Presenting oneself with such confidence, intention, and visual impact that onlookers have no choice but to receive it. You are not asking, you are serving. This is described as having a chronic, like my back pain.
This back pain, chronic.
This
ass, iconic.
Also chronic.
Chronic to severe plaque psoriasis.
Only you can prevent mesothelioma. This is described as having a chromatic silver base with silver micro glitters and a subtle pink to green aurora with black microflakes. Now this one felt like the thinnest of them all because she's so skinny, Mariah Carey who? But this was really what's Yes, that's actually what I wrote. But this was what really cemented me to test these polishes over black, as I think this one had the most potential. Now, what I wasn't expecting is that this got to full coverage in just 2 coats. I genuinely don't know how Tyler did it, because it looked so thin on the first coat, but color me impressed. I really don't see any visible nail line, but I did notice a little bit of thin spots on the tip of the nail. However, I think that's my fault and not Mr. Trinkets. As for the finish, it's really an overwhelmingly bright metallic color where the black flakes really contrast the best. And the fact that the shimmer gives pink or green undertones depending on the angle and lighting makes this still feel like it fits really well with the Pride collection. Now, because silver is one of my favorite polish colors, I have several to compare this to in my collection. I think the closest is Polish Party by Tyler's Trinkets, which was an old PPU shade. The biggest difference, however, is that serving is a darker silver approaching Smoke Show by Holo Taco, and more of a holographic than metallic polish. I really like this one. The metallic is perfect, the shimmer is perfect, oh, and the color is perfect. Perfect. So this polish is gonna get 5 See You Next Tuesdays out of 5. Oh wait, I was supposed to say, so this polish is gonna get serving 5 See You Next Tuesdays out of 5. Before I show off the whole collection on my hands, I wanted to quickly try these over black. And the first few weren't that special, but then I got to the teal.
Oh, wow, the teal's gorgeous.
Gorge. Beautiful. Stunning. Gagatandra. I'm kind of in love with the final 4 polishes over black. I think the lighter ones have potential, but the base is a little too opaque to apply evenly over such a dark color. That said, I'm really impressed with these over black and would seriously consider wearing them this way whenever I want the rainbow on dark mode. However, here's all the polishes all together, no longer over black. I think what I'm learning—
Tight Ann. Young man. Now he stops complaining? Okay.
I think what I'm learning is that I really love this deep gemstone take on a full rainbow collection. And I really like the inclusion of a silver as it fits the collection well while serving as a sharp accent within the lineup, pun intended.
Hey, stop. Don't scratch your lump.
What I genuinely love most about this collection is I have lovingly called this the—
What did I say? No, we're not doing this. We're doing this.
What I genuinely love most about this collection is I have lovingly called this the Rainbow Granite Countertop Collection, as that unifying black flake makes me want to decorate a kitchen in Paralives right now, which I'm probably going to do after we finish filming. But I do want to give a word of warning for this type of formula if you're new to a stuffed-filled polish. I'd recommend using a peel-off base coat for easy removal, or if you're like me and didn't do that, use the soak-off method instead. That's where you rest the acetone-soaked cotton ball on your finger for a little bit, instead of just scrubbing, as glitters like this can scratch your nail plates up. Also, polishes that are full of stuff tends to drink top coat like a twink sipping a vodka soda, so I'd recommend a glitter grabber before a top coat, or 2 top coats for high gloss.
The twinks are shaking in their boots.
Yeah, they're shaking because they're malnourished. Eat a sandwich. And in case you were wondering, I did round out this collection with 2 special polishes on my thumbs. The bright red is the Devil Wears Nada, which was Tyler's 3-year indie-versary polish. Tyler showed off this polish and people demanded it in a full rainbow, which is why it was the inspiration for the Queer Dictionary collection. And what I like about it is that there's no reason that a pink hater like myself couldn't get this instead of the deep pink that's already in this collection, as it works perfectly within the lineup. On my other hand, I'm wearing Gays Need Candy 2. Tyler recently started a Blank Needs Candy series 2 each month, which are glow-in-the-dark Crelly polishes, and this is June's edition. It started with ghosts, then elves, Cupid, leprechaun, bunnies, mother, and finally the gays. Though I would argue that several of those were probably gay.
Ghosts, gay. Cupid, gay.
Pansexual.
Leprechauns,
This one has a soft pearly base with rainbow metallic hex glitters and a subtle pink to green shimmer, which is why I put it next to serving. Now, I'm not normally a fan of Crellies this thin, but this one looks good, likely because I painted a blurring base coat first and should just listen to the suggestions really nice people leave for me. But regardless, the glow is so nice, and I hope the gays enjoyed their candy this month. One last thing that I wanted to talk about is this is Tyler's 4th Pride collection, and something that I really respect is that each collection really has an individual identity while still ultimately being a rainbow. The first year were the Be Proud toppers, which were hollow glitter toppers in a rainbow. Next was the Drag Queen Candy Shop, which were blacklight reactive neon iridescent flake jellies. Then the Unapologetic collection, which were linear hollows. Check out our previous video about Tyler's Trinkets rainbows if you want to learn more. And before we wrap things up, it's time for the... I can never do this acronym.
She already done had
Womcurses. What's on my hands currently? That. I was inspired by Cirque's recent neon jelly launch and used those and a bunch of other Cirque jellies over a base of white lye to paint a tie-dyed inspired manicure based on pride flags. I painted these quick before we went to a local pride, so apologies for not filming it, but I used an angled nail art brush and gently stippled polish on my nail. I had to do 2 or 3 coats of stippling depending on how light or thin the color was, and I managed to finish this just in time for us to be late. So now that you've seen everything, let me know what you think. Are these polishes serving 10s, 10s, 10s across the board? Or are they chopped? And before we go, if you're interested in supporting us, you can join as a channel member using the link in the description below. So thank you to my Titan Wranglers, but an extra special Yes God Mama Diva Slay the House Down Boots, yas! To the many members of the Silver Spurs Club. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay gay, bye!
This poor thing. We're putting him in the car and then also leaving him alone.
Yeah, what a horrible day we're giving him tomorrow.
One singular day.